Hi everybody. So this week we're covering divorce. And in the beginning of the chapter, we're speaking about the three eras of divorce. The era of restricted divorce I thought was very interesting because it's talking about the time of a restricted approach toward divorce until about the middle of the 19th century. Divorces were usually granted only on the grounds of adultery and desertion, and generally only to men. I thought that was very funny and ironic because nowadays women will divorce a man more likely because he committed adultery or he deserted them, as opposed to this time women didn't even have a say in it, and the men would be the ones to say that he's going to divorce the woman because of adultery. Um, the next era that I found interesting was the era of divorce tolerance, and it was from the middle of the 19th century until the 1970s, and divorce is more accessible to women, and I found that interesting because that was the mark that started a very high divorce rate in today's time. I know a lot of people my age that have gotten married at 18 and then divorced again at 19. I know people that their parents have been married years, and my friends are in college, and for some reason their parents just couldn't make it work anymore. Maybe they were just waiting for the kids to get to college or whatever the case may be. Um, and I found that very interesting. I'm sure that back then the willingness to divorce your spouse was definitely not as high. Um, so I see how much time has changed since then. The era of unrestricted divorce was also very interesting to me because I feel like nowadays people just divorce just to divorce. And ironically, on the next page it says no fault divorce, and this is the granting of a divorce simply on the basis of marriage breakdown due to irreconcilable differences. And I mean, maybe a person could just be not attracted to their spouse anymore, and they come up with a reason why they want to divorce them. And now a person could just be granted divorce for nothing, off of any reason you say. I mean, everybody has every right to do that, but it just shows how a person wouldn't let you, a person that was like a judge or whatever, wouldn't let you divorce because of the reason behind it. Like, oh, you got to work your own stuff out. Um, Another thing I found interesting was that when they were speaking about men employment, it says men are still culturally expected to work steadily, basically just bring food home, put food on the table. The next thing I thought that was really interesting about that was that it said that nowadays it went from men bringing money home and men making wages in order for them to have good housewife and a nice home life and all of those things. And nowadays is that the goal of a family is for the mother and the father to bring money to the house together to support their family, not just the man. Um, and I believe that because women are now recognized as being able to do something like that is also a big reason why they were able to now, during the 1970s, they were able to start divorcing for whatever reason they felt was necessary. It doesn't have to be um, it may not be to the liking of the husband or the person that's taking their case, but they could still get divorced if they wanted to. Um, Another thing I found very, very interesting was the parental divorce, and in the first sentence it says a number of studies shows that persons whose parents divorced while they were growing up are more likely than others to become divorced themselves. Um, I thought that was really interesting. I've never lived with both of my parents together. They separated when I was probably 1 year old. Um, Growing up, I grew up with a single mother, and a lot of times I prefer nowadays, looking at my mother growing up, Of course I would want to stay with my wife or my girlfriend, whoever I have my children with, but it shows me looking at my mom that being by yourself, you still be able to take care of your children regardless. And my mother and my father didn't get divorced, they never got married, but when they were together for a long time, and when they separated, it obviously did something to them. Thank God I didn't see it, so I can understand how it could be detrimental to somebody that has watched their parents be together their whole lives, to all of a sudden just, oh yeah, by the way, son, or by the way, daughter, we're getting divorced. Just because you haven't been here, you don't know the whole story. I'm sorry to tell you, you can't really change our minds. This, that, and the third. Another thing that I found interesting was the talk about the single father families. It says that between 1980 and 2008, the number of single fathers living with their own children under 18 tripled from 690,000 to 1.8 million. I thought that was very interesting because for the same thing as women, that they weren't able to work, they were looked at just taking care of the kids and providing and staying in the house, and that's it, doing what wives are supposed to do. For them to come to, oh yeah, well, I could bring money home too, I could put food on the table too, I could support my family too. At the same time, it's good to see that a man, that not only is he able to go out and provide for his family financially, but he can still take care of his children and give that same loving care and that same attention that a mother would give to their children. Just because it doesn't, nowadays, a parent is a parent. It's not, oh, the father got to do this and the mother has to do that. I just believe that a parent is a parent nowadays, and it just shows how far we've come over the past few years. Thank you.